my name is Hannah and welcome to another video. Today we are going to be doing another reading this drawing that essentially it's kind of like a book art journal thing. So I have 3 books I read in May and I'm going to draw just a little something from the book. So it could be a scene, could be something abstract, an object. For example, this one was from Remarkably Bright Creatures, so I just drew the octopus. And like this one's Powerless, and I drew one of her dresses. So that's kind of what we're doing today, and I'm going to be reviewing the books as I go. I read 3 books this month. Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, I listened to on audiobook, Emily Wild's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett, and Legend by Marie Lu. Okay, let's get into the book journal. Okay, so the first drawing and review we're going to be doing is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. This book focuses around author June Hayward and her friend Athena Liu. June has always been jealous of Athena and her success in writing, so when Athena dies, June steals her story that has yet to be published and publishes it under her name. The story Athena wrote is a historical fiction novel about Chinese laborers during World War I. So while June is doing press and marketing her book, her in quotations book, she ends up kind of lying a bit that she does have an Asian background. She even changes her name to, sound more like an Asian author, and just generally not good things. So this was my first R.F. Kuang book, and I really, really enjoyed the writing. I listened to this probably in 2 days, and I am very interested in her other books. So I gave this book 4 stars, just because the ending wasn't quite what I was expecting. It kind of caught me off guard, but not in a good way, I guess. But other than that, it was really a brilliant book. So now we can talk about the drawing I'm doing. So I have drawn a stack of pancakes with some syrup on it, some raspberries and blueberries. This food is very important to the story, as this is what ends up killing Athena. Unfortunately, she chokes on a stack of pancakes. And I don't know, this is what came to my mind when I wanted to draw something for this book. Yeah. Okay, next we have Emily Wild's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. This one is about Emily Wild, who is a researcher of fairies, who is working on her encyclopedia, and she just has one more town to study, and it is just this quiet, snowy town, and she initially goes alone. And she ends up, while researching for her book, helping out the villagers, as they do have a fairy problem. Some fairies are kidnapping some children in this town, and she is kind of the only person they can turn to for help. Eventually, in the story, her colleague joins her, and they kind of have a love-hate kind of relationship, but he ends up helping her a lot during her journey. I gave this book 3 stars. I did enjoy it. I felt like it might have been a little slow to start with, and then a bunch of stuff happened in the second half. So I'm not entirely sure if I want to read the second book, just because, well, things did happen in the second half. It kind of also ended, and it just wasn't very flushed out, and there isn't a cliffhanger really that I'm interested in. Like, it doesn't feel like there's much story to continue, so I really don't know what the second one could be about. It was a very enjoyable and different and cozy book to read for sure, so that is why I am going with 3 stars. For the drawing, I just did a Open Encyclopedia of Fairies book in a field of flowers, trying to keep it simple. I pretty much just use markers and pen for this, and this is just to, fun little exercise to get me drawing some more. Okay, and last we have Legend by Marie Lu. This book is a dystopian set far into the future in the United States, where it is now the Republic of the United States. We follow June, who is, the Republic's prodigy, and Day, who is a criminal. This story pretty much follows a lot of politics, corrupt government things, and June does have an agenda against Day because she believes he killed her brother. I initially got this book probably during the very worst time to read it, which was during 2020, and the book does have plagues and quarantine things, so when I started reading it back then, I could not continue. Thankfully, enough time has passed that I can finally pick it up again, and it's not as hard to read. And I really, really enjoyed it. It reminded me a lot of, Hunger Games and Marissa Meyer books. I really liked the world, and the characters were great, and I'm very excited to read the next book. For the drawing, I kept it so simple. I was trying to think of what I could draw for this one, and there really wasn't any objects. I'm not great at drawing people. I could have drawn a cityscape, but I don't know. So I just drew the pendant that Day wears that is important to the story. It's just a very plain piece of jewelry, so this one was pretty easy to draw. Okay, that is it for my reading this and drawing that video today. I will see you in the next one. Bye.